Om Sri Sai Ram, Sri Satya Sai ParabrahmaNe Namaha. Tapovanam, Sri Satya Sai Satcharitramu, Chapter 17. Manava Seva is Madhava Seva. Service to man is service to God. Service is the most difficult of the 9 steps to inner reality. It is basically action arising out of the yearning to win the grace of God. It is the most important step to erase ego. Through service alone can man attain mastery of senses, the passions and predilections, and through that reach divinity itself. I have come to teach you the proper attitude of service, for love expresses as service and God is love. Service to man leads to the discovery of man as God. Baba. Swami addressed a huge gathering of his devotees who were anxiously planning to celebrate Bhagawan's 60th birthday on a grand scale. He said, "Spirituality has no meaning to a person suffering from hunger. To the hunger-stricken, bring God in the form of food. To the distressed and distracted, in the form of peace. To the sick as medicine, and to the afflicted a remedy for the affliction. Only thus can spirituality enter one's heart. Anything done otherwise produces agonistics and atheists instead of believers. Before you celebrate my 60th birthday, adapt at least 6,000 villages and transform them into ideal villages. The spiritual benefit deriving from japa, silent repetition of mantra, tapas, penance, yajna, oblation, and yaga, religious sacrifice, will accrue from divine love alone. And of all the means to attain divine love, seva, service to mankind, is unrivaled. You must grasp the essentiality of my prema tattva, love. Whatever Sai does or thinks or says or sees, it is entirely for your sake and not for Sai's sake. I have no happiness on my own. Your happiness is my happiness. I have no desires whatsoever. You may think Sai is doing this or doing that. Nothing is for myself. Everything is for you. Believe it or not a paisa is being spent for me. Whatever is being done is for society. For 56 years now, not even a paisa has been spent for getting a single shirt made for me. I wear only those clothes that loving devotees offer to me. The shirt I am wearing at this moment has been given by a student, Radha Krishna. The thought that I want something for myself never occurred to me, nor does it occur now. Such a thought will never come to my mind in future too. Whatever I will, it is for the welfare of the world. Understand this clearly. Develop enthusiasm in the various programs and activities and actively participate in social service. It is important that you carry out Swami's ideals and activities more particularly in villages than in towns. Minimize your own expenses and utilize maximum amounts on providing facilities needed by villagers. If facilities are adequately provided in every village, Bharatiya Tattva, Indian ethos, and Bharatiya Samskriti, Indian culture, will effectively reach one and all. O embodiments of divine self, Divyatma Swarupulara, you may not be able to see, but I see everything as scenes moving before my eyes. The very same persons who are today unable to understand Swami's Tattva are destined to experience it in tears sometime in future. The Sai Tattva or Sai philosophy is very shortly going to spread throughout the world. Swami is himself holding it back tightly. But once it is let loose, it permeates the entire world like an irresistible force. The world will be transformed into Prasanthi Nilayam. Realize the essentiality of Swami and come forward to implement Swami's ideals. You will get no such opportunities later. You will not find it possible to get so close to Swami. Millions and millions of people will rush here. Those days are coming very soon. So from this day onwards, try to earn Swami's love and compassion and fulfill your lives by taking up suitable activities in the service of mankind. Take one step towards me, I will take 100 steps towards you. This was the time when there were severe problems in Bosnia and hundreds and thousands of refugees were sheltered in specially built camps who were waiting return of peace. A Bosnian woman, an ardent devotee of Baba, felt it her duty to do some service to the unfortunate refugees. She carried baskets of bread and packets of biscuits in her van over a long distance and distributed them in the camps. She also gave each of them a packet of vibhuti and a photograph of Swami. While eating, they were looking at Swami's photograph and talking among themselves in their own language. She could not follow what they talked to each other. She was inquisitive to know in particular what they said while looking at Swami's image. She therefore sought help from a driver of her van. He went to them and returned after a while. He told her what they were saying to each other. This man in the picture has been giving us bread and biscuits every day, but today apparently he gave them to her and asked her to distribute them. She was very much surprised to hear these words. In a meeting held during the summer training classes in Vrindavan in the year 1996, that Bosnian woman was permitted by Swami to speak. She narrated the above incident and added, "If we take one step forward for doing good, Swami will be there ahead of us all the time." Hanuman and Vibhishana in discourse. Vanaras of Ramayana were born as monkeys. Nevertheless, they served God as humble servants and gained relief from the cycle of birth and death, having been blessed with the good fortune of seeing God in their midst. Human beings are by no means inferior to Vanaras. Why then do they not devote their lives to worship of God and meditation? It is not enough to remember Smaran, God. One should enter heart and soul into divine activity. Hanuman and Vibhishan became good friends. One day, Vibhishana approached Hanuman in great distress and said, "Hanuman, how fortunate you are. Every day you do smaran of Lord Rama and have fully earned Lord Rama's grace." No doubt, I too have been doing smaran of Sri Rama for a long time, but I am not blessed with the opportunity of seeing Lord Sri Rama darshan. Hanuman explained the position. You are no doubt doing smaran of Sri Rama, but did you ever participate in Sri Rama's activities? How can you earn Sri Rama's grace without doing that? It is now a full 10 months since Devi Sita has been in Sri Lanka. Did you ever console her and try to alleviate her suffering? Did you meet her and have her darshan even once? Did you ever think of some way to relieve her agony? If you had done any of these, it would have amounted to service to Lord Rama. You have failed to avail of the fine opportunity that has come your way. As for me, I have dedicated my life to Sri Rama, chanting Sri Rama's name with my mouth and doing Lord Rama's work with my hands. While describing the above discourse between the two devotees of Lord Rama, Bhagawan Sathya Sai concluded, "Therefore, our conduct should always be Ram in heart, calm in hand, work in service. Dil mein Ram, heart mein Kam." Life dedicated to these two principles is truly fulfilled, Sarthaka. Bhagavan Baba once said, "You are not doing service for others, you are doing it for yourselves to the God in you, the God who is equally present in others." Service leads to heaven. Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba attaches immense value to willing and selfless service. In fact, he declared that it is the most supreme of all spiritual efforts, sadhana. He said, "Many distressed persons flock to Prasanthi Nilayam having lost their peace of mind due to various problems. Among them are some persons who are bodily and mentally ill. My job is to treat everyone. While the doctor finishes the principal treatment, nurses, compounders, and attendants take over and do the rest of the job. In the same way, I am providing you, volunteers, opportunities for service. Na karmana, na prajaya, dhanena, tyagaya naikena, amrutatva manasuhu. Neither spiritual cheats as ordained by scriptures, nor begetting worthy offspring, nor earning wealth will confer relief from the cycle of birth and death. Sacrifice alone can bring immortality, amrutatva. This is the truth proclaimed by the Vedas. Mental readiness to the sacrifice, tyaga buddhi, coupled with the absolute selflessness should mark one's service. That is the only highway to reach Paramapada, God's abode. Service, Seva occupies the most exalted position among all kinds of sadhana. God Himself has incarnated in human form to serve mankind through resuscitation of dharma. And He is undertaking numerous programs of service. In such a situation, if man too comes forward to dedicate himself to selfless service, there can be no doubt that God's grace will be assured. It is not necessary that service should be confined only to the precincts of Prasanthi Nilayam. Serve the suffering, the poor, and the needy wherever you find them, in your village or the place to which you go on pilgrimage or anywhere else and at any time. Normally, water by itself costs nothing, but combined with milk, the same water gains in value. In the same manner, if you add a bit of your service to any of the holy activities of Swami, your contribution acquires greater weight and significance. Once Lord Sri Krishna asked his poet saint devotee, Suradasa, what would he desire to have? And he quickly added, leave it. Will you agree to me, my servitor? Suradas humbly replied, Krishna, if I become your servant, it may generate ego in me. Moreover, what service can I do to you? There are innumerable persons who possess the necessary devotion, ability, competence, and also facilities for doing service to you. However, any number of your lovely servitors are there who themselves need succor and help. Bless me with the good fortune of serving such unfortunate persons. If you would like to please me and satisfy me, you need only to see me in everything being. Serve all living beings as you would serve me and worship me. That alone is the most appropriate procedure of worship. That alone is the holy path that brings you to me. Maintain spirituality throughout life. Speaking to students in Kodaikanal, Bhagawan Baba once narrated a delightful parable which was as amusing as it was profound. Once, all vegetables in the world entered into a dispute about which of them was the greatest. Unable to come to an agreement, they prayed to Lord Brahma, Lord Sri Mahavishnu, and Lord Maheswara to intercede and decide. Responding to their prayers, the three gods came down to earth. They heard every vegetable with all the sympathy, patience, and understanding that the sensitive issue deserved. Finally, they decided that a particular vegetable was the greatest. What is that? The humble onion. All other vegetables were astounded. Each of them possessed admirable qualities. How could these gods decide that onion was the greatest? Sensing their grievance, the gods spoke up. They said, there is no doubt that all of you possess commendable qualities, but onion has one additional and special trait which none of you can boast of. That is, to retain the same smell unchanged throughout life. That is why we have decided in its favor. Be like the onion. Whether you are happy or unhappy, comfortable or suffering, never abandon your trait of being devoted to God. This explanation satisfied all the aggrieved vegetables. Softly stroking his beard, Lord Brahma wished the winner, as long as I exist, may you possess a beard like me. If you look closely at an onion, you will find a thin beard adorning it. Lord Vishnu blessed the onion, Cut vertically, you will display one of my insignia, the Shankha conch shell. Cut horizontally, you will reveal another of my insignia, the chakra disc. Cut an onion and you will notice this. Lord Shiva blessed it. I will give you a guarantee. Anyone trying to harm you is condemned to shed tears. This too is well within the experience of everybody. This simple tale of the humble vegetable conveys a profound truth. A person who possesses staunch, unwavering devotion to God is supreme. He will be righteous. He will be blessed with God's grace. Nobody can cause harm to him. Om Sri Sai Ram. Sri Sathya Sai ParabrahmaNe Namaha. The end of chapter 17. Tapovanam. Sri Satya Sai Satcharitramu. Sarvam Sri Satya Sai Charanaravindarpanamastu. Om Sai Ram.